When you tell people about literacy, they tend to shy away from it, like it's some kind of voodoo. However, if you're able to get in more depth, they start to realise literacy isn't complicated at all. In fact, they've been learning literacy skills since birth. Hi, I'm Jessie, and I'm going to be showing you how literacy is embedded in our everyday lives using the 4 resources model and this text for a Year 10 English class. The 4 resources model was created by Alan Luke and Peter Freebody in 1990 and was revised in later years to make sure it aligned to the new era of communications and ICT. It has 4 roles: codebreaker, meaning maker, text analysis, and text user. The first role of the 4 resources model we're going to look at is code breaking. Code breaking is about being able to identify things within a text. For instance, if you had a picture with a red love heart on it, you would probably assume it's about romance or love or something along those lines. So what is it about this article, Treading Path of a Right Royal Pain? You can see that piques your interest or makes you want to read it, because essentially that's what an article is wanting you to do, read it. The first feature I circled was the image. Now, I circled the image because the caricature was pretty eye-catching, and I imagine it's probably the first thing that you noticed when the article was brought up to start with. The second feature I circled is the heading, which I would say is where your eyes went next. Now, this feature of the article relates to 2 features of the codebreaker, text and size. As you can see, it's bold and it stands out, and the wording is a little bit confronting. Well, that's how I thought. The third and fourth feature of code breaking is within the text directly and relates to vocabulary and punctuation. Words such as unfair, stiff upper lip, fragile, and many more within the text are presented with quotation marks, meaning the author is trying to describe the person as he sees her. You get a sense of how he wants her to be portrayed throughout the article. The teaching strategy suggested to find the code breaking features is Think, Pair, Share. Think, Pair, Share is a great way to get literacy disengaged students to engage in the work. From experience, I would have a seating plan in action already, with a mixture of skills in each group. That way, when the students do the first step of working individually, they can critically think themselves before gaining suggestions and insight from their peers. As every child has different values and beliefs, when the class comes together, they'll have a mixture of results and opinions. I would get them to do this strategy before reading the article and then again after reading the article to see if their opinions have changed. The second role of the 4 resources model I would use is meaning maker. I feel it links well to the code breaking that we've just looked at. Meaning making is about building on someone's knowledge and understanding of what they've read and comprehending their response. The teaching strategy I would use for meaning maker is graffiti wall. I believe it's a great strategy for students to show their understanding, especially for the disengaged students. Posing critical questions for the students to reflect on will help them discover what they've learned and their response. Although, in reality, some students may only put a couple of words, it's a good way for the students to anonymously write their response without being judged. The third role of the 4 resources model we will look at is text analysis. Analysing anything from the media is extremely important, especially with all of the fake news jumping on board to social media. Being an active learner allows for critical thinking and evaluation. I believe the best teaching strategy for text analysis would be compare and contrast along with the brainstorm strategy. If students are put in groups and given a different article on the same topic, they'll form a more rounded view and be able to critically compare the 2. Having students in a small group allows for thoughts and opinions to be listened to and justified. The fourth role of the 4 resources model we will look at is the text user. The text user is about being able to put what you've learnt from all the other roles into action. In relation to an article, they're creating a piece of work, managing who they're wanting the audience to be and what they want the audience to think, and then being able to make a connection. The teaching strategy I believe would be great for text user is create and conquer. This strategy allows for students to be able to use their skills and produce some type of text to persuade an audience. Making the task flexible, like creating a heading or an image, allows for differentiation and inclusivity. As an upcoming English teacher, if I can put the strategies of the 4 resources model into action, I'll help create critical and ethical learners of the future.